Okay. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry for all the issues we had. I didn't know it was my computer. I thought it was
Yeah, no problem.
okay. First thing I want to ask you, how has everything changed with the COVID-19? How does your process of writing songs, getting together with other musicians and everything change?
Well, everything, the touring industry has just vanished. There's everything has been postponed into next year, and countries. So there's no getting together anyway. Gunnar, the bass player, lives in the Faroes. Tadeusz, the drummer, lives in Hungary, and I live here in Czechia. So of course, travel is also very restricted. So I haven't seen my bandmates since February, and it doesn't really stop the songwriting process because we, of course, since uh, COVID lockdown happened.
So, what are your plans for next year if things slow down or they pick back up in terms of COVID? Are you going to try to tour anyways if things are opening back up, or are you going to play it safe?
As soon as it's possible, we will go on tour again. Of course, we won't take on any stupid risks, but as soon as it looks like it's decently safe to go on tour again, we will. We've been talking about maybe making smaller tours, um, for example, just within one country at a time, so that we don't have to cross any borders. That might be a safer bet right now, but this is all in next year, definitely. It will, most likely will not happen this year. Um, so you
Have
know,
you thought
I
have you
hope we
thought about
can
doing
make.
driving shows or no?
Come again? Going to.
Driving shows like have you guys play but people watch from their cars or right outside their cars? Have you thought about doing anything like that?
No, I have not. I mean, I'm not sure how you would arrange that. There would have to be like a festival area where people simply show up with their cars. No, I have not had that thought, and I don't think it sounds too. I think honestly, I would rather just stream a show, make a show in a rehearsal room or a studio, and then just stream it um, rather than play for people in their cars. Um, that thought didn't occur to me. No.
Yeah, I understand that. That's just what some of the bands are doing, so I didn't know if that'd be a good idea for you guys where you could still interact with everybody from a safe distance and still make some money
Yeah,
selling merch and tickets and everything.
yeah, um, yeah. Well, in any case, if we make a show, it won't be our job to arrange everything like that. And I would just, if someone suggested it to us that they would arrange it, I guess I would do it. But playing for cars doesn't seem like the most appealing show to play.
Yeah, that's true. But I was just thinking it'd be just a different option.
Yeah, yeah.
So, are you planning any new albums out? I know you're working on a couple side projects, but are you planning on getting together next year or in the coming years? And like, do you
I
have
was,
any new ideas?
yeah. Well, of course, the Surma project was finished some time ago. We're just waiting for the release date now, and that'll happen in this fall. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I'm working on music for the next tour album now, and I have all the time in the world. And if I won't even speculate about when it'll be released because I've made deadlines before, but I can never keep them. So I won't say anything about when I hope to release the next tour album. But I'll just say that I have all the time in the world to work right now, and peace and quiet. So that's good.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you about how you've changed your music style throughout the years, because the first album I bought was Land, and I bought that when I was 14, and it was more of a traditional style and everything, and now it seems like you've branched out to more, I want to say, more fans like kind of what you're doing now, because it's more, you know what I'm trying to say, not mainstream, but more, a different approach. So how did you transition throughout the years? What made you want to change from the Land album going forward?
When we made the Land album, it was right after Ragnarok, 2006. The Land album, 2008, maybe, or 7. I don't remember. Um, so we were trying then to make the music a bit simpler than Ragnarok, but still folky, and it went. I thought a little bit in the wrong direction. That's why we made the next album. Was that the Left Trim, kind of more straight power metal with a folk influence? Um, no. That was after Land. That was By the Light of the Northern Star, I think. Anyway, I think one thing that makes that album what it is that I was solely responsible for all the songwriting. I did everything, and since I guess the last 2 albums, there's been more cooperation between me and the other band members in the songwriting, and it makes the music a little bit more diverse. And honestly, I just made a conscious decision to make the music a little bit more listenable, because the Land album is not very listenable unless you really like that kind of music. Um, so I was afraid it would turn a lot of people off. So we consciously, if you want to make a living from this, you have to be able to play for as many people as possible, or have as many people as possible like your music. So when we write and arrange the songs, I just keep in mind that it shouldn't get too weird or uncommon music. So that was a conscious decision we made around just after the Land album. Yes.
I thought that was a good album though, because when I first heard you guys, I thought, well, this is something different. I'd never heard anything like this before, and that's why I bought the album, and then I've been listening ever since. So I thought it was something really, but I love all your recent music though too.
Thanks. Of course, I'm glad you like it, and if it's unlike anything else, that in itself is a plus. But yeah, like I explained before, we were trying to broaden our fan base. You can always go back to the old album. Anyone who thinks it gets too commercial, so we're not gonna remake the same albums.
So going forward, are you going to try to play more big festivals or more smaller arenas, even if things get better? What do you think? I mean, what's your preference right now, do you think? I know you played Wacken and everything.
Yeah, I like the bigger festivals. I just enjoy more the space on stage and the professional arrangements and everything. But honestly, I think the smaller shows will come back first, way before the festivals, um, with the COVID situation. So we'll take what we can get. If I had everything my way, we would be playing the bigger festivals. Um, that's my opinion.
Will you consider the United States when everything calms down? Or are you,
Absolutely. We had a tour lined up for the US, but it's all been postponed now. So I hope as soon as circumstances allow, they will put that tour back on the schedule.
Yeah, you had that voting thing up, and where I wanted you to play didn't get that many votes. I think it got like 5 votes because I
Yeah.
said Albany, New York, which we have like 5 different venues here. We have one that's indoor, outdoor, where people can sit inside and then they can watch outside at the same time on screens. So I thought that'd be a cool venue for you guys to play at because it'd be something for everybody.
Yeah. Picking a venue is not really up to the band. We can tell the booker, anything we want, but he has to have the connections and the people he trusts. So it's really not in our control. And if I told the booker, we would like to play precisely this venue, it's just a nightmare for him to find a way to arrange that, and it's just not the way the business works. So unfortunately, we can ask to play anywhere, but there's just no guarantee that it'll happen, or even that it's even possible for our booker to arrange. So usually what people can do if they really want to support us is travel to the closest venue to them. Often, it's expensive, time consuming, and just not possible. So but that's really the best we can do.
So pretty much we'd have to have a big fan base over here for booking to consider it.
How it actually works is that there has to be a promoter in the area, or someone who works at the venue who arranges the shows, who has direct contact to our booker, and they have to trust each other. So the whole business is built on trust, and that doesn't just happen like that. And then, of course, after that, they have to sell enough tickets to make at least break even, or maybe make some money of it. So there are so many things that have to be, the constellation has to be perfect before it happens. So yeah, the right fan base would of course help. That it would, but it's also not a guarantee that the show will happen in precisely this venue.
I understand that. I think, well, I've noticed that most of the bands I like, because they're from another country, tend to stay over where they're from, like Germany, etc. And they don't come over here for a show or anything, which is kind of disappointing. I wish there was just one place in each city where, every kind of metal band is welcome from every country. I wish it was more open and welcoming like it is in other countries.
It's not that bad, really, but I mean, the booker I'm talking about is our booker in the U.S., who represents us only in the U.S. and he has a limited amount of venues where he can book bands, and whenever we do get there, we feel very welcome, and if we had everything our way, we would play in every country in the world, in every city, but the infrastructure is just not there, and but I'm not complaining. There are plenty of places in the U.S. we can play, and definitely will play again. But the best support you can give us that way is probably just travel to the venue that we play that is closest to you.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys come someplace close.
Really
I know
hope
New
so.
York City's a hot spot, but that's a little far.
Yeah, we always play in New York. I think almost every time. Sometimes we play it only in New Jersey, but we usually play a few shows around there. Yes.
What about Massachusetts? Is that
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we played there. I have a bad memory for these things, but that might be an option. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell as immediately, at least.
because that would be about 3 hours away, and I know some of the major bands like Motley Crue and them are going on a tour, and they're going to Boston. So maybe if you guys go with somebody similar and do like kind of like a three bands on the lineup or something. That would be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
that is the plan. We will be 3 or 4 bands when we go on tour in the US again, and Boston. Yeah, we played Boston definitely.
I guess the last question I want to ask you, and I really appreciate your time and everything, and I'm sorry we had so many problems with the computer and everything.
No
Um,
worries.
the, the last question I wanted to ask you is, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave after years gone by and you're kind of done recording everything? What do you hope the fans get from you as a band and as a person?
Oh, I don't know. I hope I'm not really sure. I guess what I've been trying to do is like kind of make a soundtrack to Nordic history and Nordic mythology, and I hope that's my aim at least. If people think we did that, then I guess I would be pleased.
That sounds good. I mean, certainly your music throughout the years has represented a lot, and um, you've done a great job putting everything together. And
Thank
I
you.
hope I hope that you play for many, many more years because the world
That,
needs different music. It needs better music. It doesn't need this mainstream pop nonsense.
that is the plan at least. I'm gonna play till I drop.
Well, I appreciate everything, and um, thank you for talking to me. And I hope when you release another new album that I can talk to you again about it, if that's
Oh,
okay.
that would be nice. Yes. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate it.
Bye then.
Bye.